It's dark, damp, and cold. You look all around. All you can see is stark, black darkness. No matter how long you wait, your eyes will not adjust. You hear the dripping of water coming from somewhere around you. The air smells musty. All sense of time and place is lost. Without light, there is no getting out. Sounds like the beginning of a horror movie, but with the flip of a switch, a press of a button, or the lighting of a match, you will come to see a world beneath. A drive through Missouri will show any person the diverse landscape. They'll pass rolling hills and flat farmland. It varies from mile to mile. The state is also full of hiking trails and state parks, plenty of opportunities to enjoy the rich outdoors. Below the surface, it's different. Clay, mud, rock, darkness. But different doesn't mean ugly. It's just as beautiful below the surface as it is above. This is the home of Missouri's caves. Missouri caves leave a rich history behind them. One cave beneath Springfield is believed to be the oldest fossil cave in North America. Some remains include those of giant cave bears, a mammoth, and Ice Age cats. Not only did animals find shelter in these caves, but so did the natives to this land. Many Indian burial sites have been found, as well as evidence of dwellings.
The artifacts and the stuff that was found underneath the bluff, just right outside the original opening of the cave, were artifacts, some chipped bone, some skull bone. They date those bones back about 7,000 years, about 5,000 BC. Believed to have been Eurasians that came across the Bering Strait after the last ice age. A lot of their arrowheads and some of kind of bone that was used for some of their tools back in the day.
Missouri caves have also been used for their resources. Many times in the past, people have gone to Missouri caves to mine saltpeter. One such time was during the Civil War. Yankee soldiers would mine saltpeter to make a very useful commodity: gunpowder. Caves have also been used to store food that needed to be kept cool, for water supply with their springs. Missouri settlers also used them as a place for legal brewing and the making of illegal moonshine. They'd distill, cool, and store the alcohol there. They've also been used as barns and homes previously. Currently in the state, there is a house built into a cave and a cave restaurant. In a time long past, Missouri was known as the outlaw state. Many outlaws and hate groups troubled the state. Many of these groups used Missouri's vast caves to hide and gather. Counterfeiters used caves for manufacturing, and groups like the Ku Klux Klan used them for meetings. One of the most famous gangs said to have their hideout in Missouri caves is the notorious James Gang.
Jesse James was a man who killed many men, he robbed the Union train.
Jesse James was an outlaw from Missouri during the mid-late 1800s. He and his gang robbed banks, trains, and stagecoaches, and were known to often leave a bloody trail. Many caves claim the title of Jesse James' hideout, but much of it is pure speculation. Merrimack Caverns has used their history with Jesse to promote their cave. It wasn't only outlaws that spent time in these caves. From around 1885 to 1925, caves were the perfect place to hold community picnics and parties. Dance floors, bars, musician platforms were often constructed inside the caves, and tours would be taken through them. The constant temperature and scale of some cave domes made these the perfect location. Missouri's varied non-commercial and commercial caves are as endless as the times, as changing as the scenery, as ageless as the elephant rocks. Some you have heard about and probably visited. The names and locations of others would come as a surprise to most. And some say there are as many as 350 recorded caves in the Show Me State. Missouri News Magazine, 1957. 350 caves used to be an impressive number, but the number of recorded caves grows every year. There are now approximately 6,500 known caves in Missouri, second only to Tennessee. Composition of Missouri caves varies a great deal. Because of this, the state is broken up into 6 cave regions: the Salem Plateau, the Springfield Plateau, Central Missouri, Northeast Missouri, Southeast Missouri, and St. Louis region. Missouri caves are mostly made up of dolomite and limestone. Dolomite caves are primarily found in central Missouri, while limestone caves are found mostly in the Springfield, St. Louis, and Columbia areas. Thanks to these rocks and minerals, Missouri caves are fairly unique in how highly decorated they are. Dolomite caves are especially decorated because of how porous they are. Water is able to go through the stone rather easily, which allows the extensive growth of stalagmites, stalactites, and other cave formations. Geologists still disagree on how these different caves formed. There are differing views for the many caves. In general, though, water plays a major role in carving out these crevices.
The fossils that you'll find inside the cave are embedded in the St. Joe limestone, and they are brachiopods, crinoids, which were sea lilies, and also the horned coral. And that is because at one time this was the bottom of the ocean, and this cave was carved out by an underground river system. So everything that you see in this cave was once the bottom of the ocean.
The marvelous thing is that no two caves are alike. Some caves are dry, some are wet, some are sinkholes, some are diveable caves. They also house their different forms of cave life. 11 species of bat live in Missouri, many living in caves. Other animals are salamanders, crayfish, cavefish, and many more. Unfortunately, there are things threatening cave wildlife, the biggest issue being a disease called white nose syndrome, which affects the bat population. White nose is caused by a fungus that can be spread by a single spore. It gets on the bats and causes them to come out of hibernation during the winter time, when food sources are not readily available. Thankfully, Missouri has a different climate than the Northwest states it's especially hitting. The different climate might keep the problem more at bay than other states have been able to. Caves have not always received the best respect. Thus, they have more issues than just their wildlife problems. Other major concerns include vandalism, urban encroachment, pollution issues, overvisitation, and groundwater issues. Thankfully, these have largely been combated. Many wild caves are gated. These gates are made to keep people out, but also allow bats to freely come and go. If you are an exceptional caver, you can sometimes get a permit to go through these. Missouri also has an excellent groundwater protection clause, which protects the springs and streams, which in turn protects the caves. Thankfully, Missouri has great organizations in place to help protect and keep track of Missouri's caves. Between the Department of Natural Resources, the Missouri Speleological Survey, and other area cave organizations, Missouri has one of the best systems in the country to map and keep track of caves.
We're still finding new caves and finding new cave passages, and no one's ever been there before. And that's a pretty unique thing to be able to be someplace and literally make the first footprints there. People haven't had that experience outside of caving, since the world really became like a modern place. That sense of exploration, like the first people going deep into jungles or the first person to climb Mount Everest. Those sorts of things have been done, and caving is really the last frontier for actual true human exploration. In order to do anything kind of like that any place else in the world, it's either down deep at the bottom of the ocean or actually going to outer space. I mean, there are a couple mountains that, you know, haven't still probably been climbed, but someone's seen it. They've seen it from an airplane or seen it from a satellite. But with caves, you haven't seen it. You don't know it's there. You don't even know what it looks like until someone's actually been there and be that first person there. It is a complete mystery and complete unknown. And that's one of the things that really makes caving very unique and very appealing to a lot of people.
The Ozarks would give up almost everything before she would her caves and rivers. They mean too much as tourist attractions. Joe Taylor, Tourist Gold, The Buried Treasure, Missouri Magazine, June 1934. Missouri has the most show caves in the country. Caves here were made famous thanks to Mark Twain and his novels of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. The Mark Twain Cave in Hannibal became the first show cave in Missouri in 1886. There are currently about 20 show caves in Missouri.
Everybody loves caves, and I think that more people, once they go into a cave, they realize that it's a whole world they never even experienced.
Missouri caves are here for us to enjoy and learn from, thanks to millions of years of growth and formation. They are actively growing still and will continue to do so as long as we, Earth's inhabitants, take care of their beautiful natural wonders.